In just a little bit. Hold your horses. Giving everyone a chance to trickle in, and I want to start with the Smosh stuff because I know more about that than the submarine stuff. The submarine stuff I've got to learn about in real time. Thanks to the bits. Sun and pop up. Yeah, watched Extraction 2 tonight. It was good. I like it. I love the way they film the action. They make the action scenes really hype by making them look like they're done in single long takes. I don't know if they actually are, if they use the same technique they did in 1917, but regardless, it's still filmed in a really fun way. So I liked it a lot. There's a Tier 1 Zetsu, Tier 1 JPG, and the gift sub JPR, the resub Naz. What are you talking about, Butter? I know that channel. I haven't heard anything about that. Is there info on it on Twitter? Is the resub Zombie and Tier 1 Anime? Well, that is a wild story, Jay. Jesus. 1917 was not an actual single take movie. It's just filmed to look that way. So what'll happen is, like in 1917, I think one of the cuts they do is when it's cameras going through the water, it passes one of the I forgot what the thing's called, but one of it was an iron pole, and during that transition going through that, they make a cut. So it wasn't all done in an actual single take, at least not that I remember. They just used really well done hidden cuts. Amazing film. 1917 is an absolutely amazing film. Is it Tier 1 Aphelios, the resub Slot, DB, and Cyrus? Do you see the fresh cut drama? A little bit. They're taking just full videos and putting them on their service, like as their own, to fill the content or something. I only saw a little bit of it. Thanks for resub Zombie and Zuku. Debate Wubby on it. He hates 1917. Wubby hates 1917? I don't even know what there's to dislike. That's actually shocking. I guess if you don't like action movies, I guess. I will say, like, narratively, there's some really goofy moments. Like, there's some very silly things that happen. But there's overall not a whole lot to dislike about the movie. Thanks to the resub Frog and Chunk. Ruby the Teenage Kraken. Never heard of it. Thanks for resub Pancake. I can look at it though, I guess. Thanks for resub Cody. I'll have to look at that then, Butter. I didn't see it. And yeah, I'll probably Moist Meter Vinland Saga Season 2. And the Prime Air. And the resub Duza. Thanks to resub Lamessa and Kage. You played the Telltale's Walking Dead? Long time ago. I never finished it though. No, we're taking a only up speedrunning break tonight. So tonight we're gonna catch up on some shit that's been going on. And yeah, I'll watch the Craven trailer. I still haven't seen that yet, and I've heard it could be the next Morbius, which is a wild claim. Not nearly that bad. Well, that's good. Yep, Smosh is now back in the hands of Ian and Anthony. It was just announced today. I actually, like, when I got up this morning, it was the first thing I saw is Ian made a tweet saying we bought Smosh, and I thought it was like a clickbait thing. But no, it turns out they really did, finally, after all these years, buy Smosh back. So he kind of goes over the history of it. In 2011, they sold it because they wanted to keep growing and it wasn't sustainable for them to like pretty much finance it all themselves. So they sold it to Defy Media, which went defunct in 2016, I think it was. And then Rhett and Link came in like Bruce Wayne basically and just financed the content, owned the brand, and now they've decided to team up again and buy it back. I'd be very curious to know what they bought it back at. I would be, because they got the whole kit and caboodle. It's not just the main Smosh channel. They got every Smosh channel. They got the whole brand back. And I feel like Rhett and Link is so creator friendly that they must have given them an incredible deal on it. Dude, Rhett and Link are old as shit now. What the fuck? They're not that old. It's just, I mean, getting a little salt and pepper, but they're not that old. Like, they're still pretty young guys. Yeah, I don't think earlier mid 40s is old. I really don't. That's hey, it's not old. He's the prime chicken, and then we sub shrimp, doof, schmingus, stanky, and JPR. Yeah, I think it's very cool to see that they finally got the brand back. Usually this doesn't happen. I think they got extremely lucky that Rhett and Link were the ones that ended up buying it. Because most of the time, you don't really get control back. Look at FaZe Clan, for example, right? When you lose control of your brand to a corporation, that's usually theirs forever. That's in the books for life. So I think they got very lucky. I'm very excited to see what they make going forward. I do really wonder if the old Smosh style sketch comedy can do well in like a modern internet landscape, because there's not a whole ton of that around anymore. It's kind of like a dying art form online. I've been pretty vocal. I'm not a huge sketch comedy fan in the first place, but I do, however, watch every single upload from this channel, and they are a sketch comedy channel. They make absolutely unreal skits. But on the whole, I don't really like skits. It just makes me feel like I'm taking an elective back in high school and having to do theater. But like there are just some that work really well, like Almost Friday or like Joel, right? Churdley's. Like there are some that I still like, but on the whole, I'm not a huge fan. But I would like to see if Smosh can really make it pop. RDC is very good. RDC is also good. I do also like RDC. Thanks for your sub, Smoger, Goldie, Baby, and Creep. Animated shorts are the next big thing? Maybe. I mean, skits do still do well. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just there's not a ton of them left. It's not the most popular form of content. Shorts have kind of replaced skits. So I guess they kind of still live on in shorts. In a certain way. He's a tier 1 Majora, the resub Steve, and the prime Well, and Bits Goop. You remember the Smosh video with Dax Flame? No, I don't. Is it resub reckoned? Isn't Smosh that one dude with the weird eyes? What the fuck does that even mean? What? Isn't Smosh that one dude with the weird eyes? Steve Buscemi? Like who? I don't know what we're talking about. These are the resub Mace, Dallas, and the Prime Vegito. And the resub average. And the resub Ether. And tier 1 Thrax and resub Carter. No, the submarine stuff is what I need to learn about here, like in real time. So we're going to go over that in a minute. The Fine Bros used to do skits about incest, I remember. I can't tell you I remember those skits. I didn't know the Fine Bros ever did anything besides that, like, Prom Sucks movie, and then 6-year-olds react to memes or whatever, and elders react to STIs. That whole series. He's a Prime Ral. And the bits Jesus. I appreciate that. Thanks, Jesus. I don't understand why couldn't they do those videos again till now. What changed? They didn't have creative control or something? I'm shocked it took that long for someone to ask that question. Thank you. The reason why they, well, Anthony left the channel a few years ago because he felt like it was going in a direction that he didn't really like. So he split off to do his own thing. And that's what happens when you're owned by a different entity that's no longer in your control. You don't get to choose the direction. Again, perfect example is FaZe Clan, with everything being all cattywampus over there. So Anthony left, started doing his own thing. The direction of the channel wasn't for him. Now, it's hard to do the classic Smosh sketches when the other half of Smosh, like of the founding crew, is gone. So they just stayed the course of making the content that they were doing under not only the Rhett and Link brand, but Defy Media brand as well. But now, they decided that they were ready to come back to the table and start doing what they used to do again, because they need creative control. They can't just come together and start doing it. They needed creative control, so they bought it back. And now they can do what they want, because it's theirs. But when you are bought by an entity, you no longer get a say. Well, I mean, you probably get a say, but they have the right to turn it down and tell you no. He's a tier 1 Joe, the Prime Chalad and Resub BLR, and Zoriel, and Cougar, and Robert. They sold in the first place because the rate at which they were growing and the rate at which they wanted to produce content, they weren't able to sustain it themselves, so they needed backing from a company, so they sold the brand to Defy Media. A classic case of wanting to do bigger, better things, but not having a bigger, better purse for it. He's a resub Delusional, Max Gamer, and the Bits Silent and Alex. Nope, we're gonna read about that in a minute, Alex. No, I haven't even heard of that game before, Peanut. Thanks to the Prime. Kanyalon and Mahabo. Oh, Mojo, and the resub Nuclear. What direction do you think the channel's gonna go now? Well, they said that they're gonna do skits and shit. So they're going back to, like, core Smosh content. And I believe them. I don't think they're lying. So I think that's probably going to be the direction. They said all the other channels are going to stay doing the same stuff. So I think that's going to be the only big change. Thanks to Resub Shack.